Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there, pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines! And gentlemen, start your engines!
And welcome back to another episode of the Green White Checkered Podcast. I am joined with Joe, Austin, and Zach, and we're here to talk about Phoenix, Bristol next week, North Carolina getting bets. We got everything this week. I think we got a little game we're going to play, a little name that driver. We got some Fox flubs. We got Joe trying to talk over me nonstop. And we got
it's a good week.
I'm sure we'll have a bourbon minute of the show. So
come on,
let's just hop right into Phoenix and let's go. Austin, what did you think of the race? Actually, before you start, I have a feeling that we all have different opinions on this race. Okay, go, Austin.
My thought was, in the grand scheme of Phoenix, not that bad. In the grand scheme of NASCAR racing, not great. That's kind of my general gist of it. I mean, I think that you saw the classic Phoenix stuff of the most exciting part being the restarts, and then everyone gets kind of spread out, no one can pass and everything. So, but there's some exciting moments. There's a little bit of chaos there, kind of towards the beginning of stage 3. But I'll be honest, at several points it was kind of more of a background watch for me, where I was like, I can't, like, this. I'm gonna fall asleep if I keep trying to watch this whole thing straight up. But anyway, again, better for Phoenix, but not great.
Zach, what do you think?
Best race of the year so far. Okay. All right. Not biased. But again, we're the most unbiased podcast.
Most unbiased podcast. So I'm
sure
best race of the year, hands down. No, it's Phoenix, just a C- on average, right? Like that's just the track. And when are we gonna figure out that that's just the track? Like, you can talk about packages and horsepower and all this stuff all you want. The fact is, we've had how many different packages? We've gone there with 900 some horsepower, and it's always just been Phoenix. So I mean, maybe doing the whole Daytona, Atlanta, and then Vegas, 3 great races leading up to this, and then you get hit with Phoenix. Maybe that makes it seem worse. I don't know. Maybe Phoenix just has, just rubs a little more salt in the wound because it's the championship race. So maybe everybody's looking at it like, oh, we got to do the championship here. So like they're already pissed off about it. Maybe if it's not at Phoenix anymore, maybe people are a little more accepting of it. I didn't think it was bad. I thought, yes, my driver did win, but I mean, I thought there were faster cars that could make moves and could make passes. And then there was guys who got stuck back in traffic and they couldn't. But I mean, I would argue that they weren't the better car then. You saw a different strategy. Tires mattered. I don't know. It was one of the better Phoenix races, but was it like a really good NASCAR race? No, not particularly. It was a race, and that's okay. I think it's just, again, it just rubs a little more salt in it when this is the championship location.
I mean, I will say to that point, Zach, about the sorry, I don't want to
no, you're fine.
Stop before we get to Joe and Andrew's opinions, but I think that you raise a good point about like the winner. I feel like, at least with this Phoenix race, it did feel like the fastest car out there did win. It didn't feel like we got screwed over just because that Bell happened to be in the lead and no one could pass him because of dirty air or whatever. Like, it actually felt like he was the fastest car for all day, if not like at least like when it mattered. But I think that was at least the pros that we saw a lot of. At least we saw the best car out there win, best setup and everything.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, I kind of echo a lot of what y'all said. It was fine for Phoenix. You're going in there with low expectations to begin with, so I again, kind of like Drake, it became background once App State played towards the end stage 3, so I just put that on a secondary screen and paid attention to the basketball game. So it was fine. I don't know if I noticed anything with the short track package. I know people were passing, and there's that green flag passing stat thing, which I'm sure we'll get into, but it was fine. Obviously, it sucks that my guy was in the top 5 and then he wasn't. So that's a bummer, but it was a race.
As I said in Discord, he's mid-pack at best. So
Okay, calm down.
where did he finish, Joe? Where did he finish?
Like 20th.
And like it was like
And
20
where
minutes.
would that be?
Where'd
Mid-pack?
McDowell finish?
Your mom.
P8PB.
Ooh.
He finished for
Right.
Damn.
So I figured our opinions would differ a little bit. I am wrong. We're all kind of on the same page. Whereas it was an okay race for Phoenix. We had low expectations going in. I think the low expectations were met, but at the same time, we kind of expect a better race overall. And kind of what Zach is saying is it makes it, I think everybody's a little more upset and saying this is a worse race because this is our championship race. But at the same time, like I look back at the November race last year for the championship, I thought that was an okay race. And so did the Gluck poll. I think it was sitting around what 65 or 70%.
It was about 70.
Whereas, yeah. So this week it was 40% as a good race. So what's the difference here? And could it be the broadcast team, NBC versus Fox, making it a little
100%.
bit more exciting?
100%.
I agree. And actually Zach posted in our Discord that during a caution, there was some good racing. And then they come back and they're on Jeff Gordon sitting there for 30 seconds, just staring at, Chase Elliott's lap times. And then they start talking about Clint Boyer and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
Then by the time they
like-
get back to it, the racing's over. It's single file. And I think they literally mentioned, oh, well, we had some good racing. No
Yeah.
replay, nothing. Just like, cool, thanks.
Yeah, it's like
But,
they go to commercial break with Eric Jones was hunting down Ty Gibbs for the lead, and then Jones fell back. It was Gibbs, Jones, Denny, and Reddick. So they go, and that's the order of the lineup. They go into commercial break with Jones right on Gibbs's rear bumper. Then during the commercial, like I was watching on YouTube today because I was like, I still didn't believe that it was that bad. Like it was as bad as people were saying on Twitter. I know people on Twitter exaggerating, so it never happens.
No.
What?
But I just had to go back and watch some of it, and it's like as soon as they keep the live feed going for the NASCAR feed, and they show that on the YouTube channel for the full race replay. And then right as soon as you can tell they go to commercial break, Jones falls back, and Denny catches Jones, and then Reddick comes up, and then Reddick starts harassing Denny, gets around Denny, and then eventually gets Jones, and then he gets up there to Ty Gibbs. Like it was like a bunch of racing and passing that all went on during the commercial break that we didn't see. And
Yep.
I'm not super confident with Fox. Like even if they're not at commercial break, are we going to see it? Like how much racing is going on? Like, did you know that Chris Buescher made up 15 positions in the first stage? I didn't.
Nope.
I didn't until I saw RFK's Twitter and they posted it. Like, so that's a bunch of passing. Like, and if this is what I was kind of saying. I think I said this last week or something like this. Like, it is on Fox's job, or it's their responsibility to tell the story of the race. You're going into Phoenix knowing the type of criticism you're facing. You're facing, this track sucks, there's no passing, it's boring, blah, 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 blah. So why are you not constantly hunting for these shots of cars passing? Like Christopher Bell went from, obviously I'm paying attention to it being a Christopher Bell fan. He went from like 16th up to first in that second stage. And then after all the cautions and everything, he cycled back to 20th and obviously went from 20th to the lead in the last stage. But it's like none of that is really covered that much. Like why?
Right.
You're facing, oh, you can't pass here. Why are you not showing every pass? I mean, being Christopher Bell is irrelevant. Whoever it is that's that strong that day, if they're able to make moves and pass cars, why are you not like highlighting that and celebrating that and saying, see, here you can race. Here's some good racing here. But it's just like I feel like they miss it all the time. Which is
funny because my constant thing is Fox uses their junior people, but it's like you think you'd at least have, it's not really on the broadcasters as much to pay attention to that kind of stuff. You got people behind the scenes who are supposed to be doing that. So it's like not only do you have the production crew who's that bad, like at actually the what you see production, but also the guys behind the scenes who are supposed to be paying attention to the race, like supposed to be paying attention to these big movers, like all stuff going on. It feels like they don't even know the sport. Like they don't know what to look
Right.
for. They're looking for, I guess, crashes or someone hitting the wall or whatever. That feels like the only thing they're looking for, not anything that's actually exciting for a race fan to listen to watch. So, I don't know. It's just a constant. I know we harp on them every week, but it's something to harp on every week.
Yeah, there is.
I'm not putting it on, Clint, Mike, and Harvick to pay attention to everything that's going on, but I feel like they should have somebody like Drake saying in the production team paying attention to like several different things. Like, okay, if you miss Bell running through the field in the second stage, I kind of get it because you maybe missed it. But then as you're looking at stuff, trying to prepare, and you see, oh, wait a minute, he was the fastest car. Now he's back in 20th. Somebody pay attention to see if he starts to rally again and let us know, or something like that. If you see someone making moves, give the guys in the booth a tap on the shoulder. Say, hey, look at this. What else are you doing there?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the production team's job, is to pay attention to, again, the story of the race.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got dedicated guys. Yeah, you got dedicated. I'm sure you have dedicated guys who are supposed to be doing that. Like their whole job is to figure out stuff for the guys to talk about and like see trends like that. And if that's not the trends you're picking out, what are you? They're like Clint. They're on their phone half the time.
Their production directors over here just looking at little kids in the stands. You're like,
exactly, yeah.
Zoom in on that one.
Camera 3.
Make sure you get as you hear the cars firing up to come to the green flag. Make sure you get a shot of that kid right there. And then once they're crossing the start finish line, then we'll cut to the actual cars.
That's right. Dude, Clint's delay in the Austin Dillon wreck.
That was hilarious.
It was the funniest thing.
15.5 seconds. Like,
it was like,
comes back like Mike Joy never said it. Oh, Austin Dillon.
Like nothing. Oh, Austin Dillon.
3 or 4 shots of Austin Dillon clearly being one of the wrecked race cars.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my God, Austin Dillon's hurt. Oh, that's another early wreck for us.
He was clearly just rummaging around in the cooler looking for another.
yeah.
He looks up.
How long it takes me to the cooler and come back is about 16 seconds, guys. We know that now.
Sounds about right.
Oh man, but so from the get-go this weekend, first practice, everything we see is all these drivers just, this package sucks, basically. Can't pass, nothing changed, same, just everything, from last year that we were hearing. It was like, oh God, here we go again. Not going to be able to pass. We had passes. It was better. Did we see it in the broadcast? No, we didn't. We saw it a little bit. I mean, we did see passes for the lead, but it was what, 2,800 passes they said over the weekend, which was a little
That's a horseshit stat.
It is. There was pit stops, stuff like that, but
they're counting guys doing this, right? They're counting guys doing this every time they do that across the line. Oh, there's a pass. There's another pass. There's another pass.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit stat.
Yeah.
It was better, in my opinion. It
was.
It's not what I want to see every week. I want to see a little bit.
And you don't have to. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's a race. It's okay to have a race. And I said earlier, I think it just makes it worse that this isn't really just a race. This is your championship preview.
Yeah. So if Phoenix wasn't the championship race, we'd be shitting on it as much as we are now.
I don't think so.
Probably not. I wouldn't either. Yeah.
I mean, not every football game's great. Not every baseball game's great. Not every race is going to be great. You're just going to have some weeks where it's like, that was just a race.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep. And so here's my thing. And I keep on hearing people saying that Phoenix does deserve the championship race because it keeps selling out. That's the reason they don't deserve it, because they are selling capacity.
Out. Yeah, they have like 2 seats.
Did you hear them talking about that too? I feel like they were trying to justify it. They're like, it sells out every race.
The last 6 times it's sold out. Well,
if you're a NASCAR fan,
race,
and if you're a NASCAR fan in Arizona, in New Mexico, in SoCal for that matter, like this is your closest race,
right?
So Nevada, like I guess you have Vegas and Nevada and everything, but like I don't know, it just feels like it's kind of a race desert. Like selling out at Charlotte's a different story because you got Darlington, Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, all that pretty close, and then but Phoenix is like, this is your one of 2 chances this season to really see a race. So I guess it's going to, and the championship race, obviously that's going to sell out, but I don't know.
Make it one of the first round elimination races. I think
we definitely still complain about this track if it wasn't the championship. Like it's just not producing great racing, but I think obviously it just adds that whole other layer about it whenever it is, the championship race, and that's what we have to look forward to for the Super Bowl event that NASCAR wants from the playoffs, of this one shot for these 4 cars to win it, and then it's at Phoenix. And I think we've talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but I know we have in Discord about how it's purely because NASCAR's invested so much money into this racetrack to get that reconfig and everything. They're trying to justify that, I guess. But end of the day, like, how much money you're actually losing by making the championship race so boring, like in the long run, of losing support, losing fans, whatever, losing people going to the race. Like, it's just at some point you gotta cut your losses and take it to anywhere else. Well, not anywhere else. I don't want it at Texas or something.
Homestead.
Back to Homestead.
I had a couple thoughts. Well, didn't Bianchi, I forget who his source was, but he said there's like a strong contingent that it's going to be at Homestead next year. So I don't know.
I didn't see that. That's would be huge.
He didn't say.
I'm not doubting you understand it.
Yeah, it's speculation still.
Yeah,
it's his assumption based off everything he's seeing, or everything he's seeing and hearing. And the one thing I will say about Bianchi is I feel like he's not somebody who won't put something out there if he doesn't feel pretty good about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, my other thing real quick was, and I just throwing this out there, if we went back to old Phoenix where you don't have the dog leg like that, is racing better or no? Because I don't remember how the racing was before they reconfigured it. No.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah. It's all the same. Like, I mean, you have the dog leg gives you one wacky element to it, which they always talk about on, all these restarts. But I mean, after that, it's essentially the same. Phoenix is just Phoenix. So, I mean, what are we going to do? What do you want in place of Phoenix? Do you want to not go here? If you don't want to go here, where do you want to go? What's your alternative to this?
Yeah,
it's like, to your point, it's like not every race needs to be a barn burner. You know what I mean? It's like I don't think we need to eradicate. I think we eradicated Auto Club because the Gen 6 sucked there, and now we're missing it because it's probably was easily one of the best racetracks for the current gen. Right. And so I think I'd hate to just completely say let's get rid of Phoenix like NASCAR fans like to do. Just it's been bad to get rid of it, and then suddenly we get a new package or get something where, after they've announced Phoenix is removed from the schedule every year going forward, suddenly we get the best race we've ever seen at Phoenix because they just figured out this magical package for short tracks that works great at Phoenix. So it definitely doesn't deserve 2 dates right now. Definitely doesn't deserve the championship races at second date. But I don't think we need to get rid of it. Like, not every race needs to be that Atlanta 3-wide finish, as much as people sometimes want that. And I wouldn't be mad if every race was that exciting, but we don't need to chop tracks off the schedule to chase that perfect schedule of every single race being a barn burner. But I don't know. But definitely not
as far as
championship.
As far as that goes, so I mean, like, Vegas is the not a barn burner. Like last week, where it was a race. Like, the cars, it was okay. There was a little bit of pit strategy. It wasn't exciting, but it was a decent race, right? Whereas, I don't know. I want to put a lot of this on the broadcast. I think if they did show a little bit more of the racing, we'd be like, yeah, that was an okay race, except for Bell running away with it at the end, which he was the fastest car. But I think that, I don't know. So it's Fox, right?
Yeah.
It's just been a steady downhill for him, and it's just going to get worse. And if you haven't heard, this week is the week that they are going to showcase their new booth away from the track.
Oh, great.
No, they're not.
Why?
Yeah.
At Bristol, of all places.
Freaking no, they're not. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. They said
Where
that
did you see this at?
They Jamie Little said it on the broadcast.
They're doing that for Cup?
I don't know. It's
doing it for trucks.
Just trucks. That's my guess.
Oh my god. How dull.
So trucks is going to be even worse.
Oh, fuck off, Fox.
So I don't know if they're just going to like do a tour and show it, or they're actually going to do the broadcast from there. But oh my god, this could be
so. Is this what Junior was alluding to when he said about off? Like, because I mean, there was a couple weeks ago,
100%.
Junior was saying he had some. I never listened to it. I wanted to go back and listen to it, but I didn't. Something about off-site broadcasting or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this what he was?
We talked about it.
That was the whole panic. Oh, NBC's doing it, so it's going to be Fox.
Yeah. No, it's it's NASCAR. NASCAR has built this. They talked about it over the winter, and we did too. Actually, we reviewed it, I think, before the Clash, and it's just
it's gonna
it's
be
an
so bad.
off-site broadcasting place. I don't get it. Like during COVID, yeah, I get it. Okay, cool. This isn't COVID. Go to the fucking tracks. Announce the race. Like Junior watches out the window, watches the race, gets excited, gets everybody,
Right.
all the fans pumped up. I don't need a guy sitting there watching 3 TVs, watching the race like I'm watching the race. Like, I'll go on fucking Twitch or something and watch the race, and I'll fucking broadcast it. It'll be better than watching, Clint, Jamie, Suarez. Like, I don't know, man. It's a bad idea in my mind. But yeah, we get that this week at Bristol. So,
woohoo.
Yeah, going the wrong direction with the broadcast. But yeah, I feel like that's the reason that I think Phoenix was worse this time around. The broadcast.
It's a struggle to tell the story at Phoenix, right? You go to Daytona, it's easy to make Daytona exciting. You go to Atlanta now, it's easy to make Atlanta exciting. You go to some of these other tracks where you have to tell the viewer why they should care, why they should get excited, and that's where Fox struggles because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
I think
it's good.
Mike Joy, he's one of the greats at broadcasting, but I don't know, I don't feel that spark in Mike anymore. Like he doesn't have the excitement he has. I mean, they always say, winning a cup race is, one of the hardest things to do in all professional sports. And then just the way he calls Christopher Bell to the win, it was just like, and Christopher Bell, he wins 4 years in a row now. Like he's got to win. It's just like, so like, I've seen this show before. Like, I don't know, man. It's at some point your give a fuck is gone and you kind of lose that spark and that passion of your job, and that's fine. And maybe Mike is to that point, or maybe he's just frustrated at having to deal with Clint's drunk ass all day. I don't know. I would
probably. I mean, he dealt with DW for a while.
Yeah, but I think they were buddies, so that was different.
Yeah,
I think that was a different vibe. Now this is like some new guy that and then they bring Harvick in. I don't know. I think ever since DW left, and then Larry Mack left the booth, like it's just maybe he sort of struggled to find that click in the booth like he used to have, and I don't know.
The saddest thing to me is they would never do this with any other sport. Like and again, this is like apparently a NASCAR like initiative, I guess, and it's probably, but at the end of the day, I would bet this is something that was egged on by the networks, because I mean, how much money are they saving having them be in Charlotte or whatever, I'm assuming Charlotte, for the remote broadcast booth, versus like flying out, lodging, like meals, everything while they're out there. So all this stuff that I'm going to do, traveling these broadcasters, the entire production team. I mean, there's obviously traveling a lot of the production team with camera crews and stuff, but that's keeping so many other people back, and more localized, how much money they're saving. And that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is it's a way to save money, but it's just, they would never do an NFL broadcast like that. They never do even like a baseball broadcast. Like baseball, arguably very easy, would be very easy to do remotely, because they just BS half the time in the booth anyway, which is great. But like they would never do that with those sports. But NASCAR, for whatever reason, it feels like a redheaded stepchild of the broadcasting world sometimes, especially to Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they only have to cover 16 events.
Yeah, and they fight so hard to get these broadcasting rights to the point where we still have Fox around.
And then they're like, all right, we're going to shit on it.
Yeah, all right, that's it. We're putting Jamie Little in a remote booth.
Oh, my God. Having flashbacks to the truck race, the truck championship race. Yeah. Jesus Christ, was that bad.
So, before we kind of get it moved on here, what do you guys think would help the package at Phoenix? What do you think would help it, be a better race?
Everybody
horsepower and no shifting.
Phoenix is.
I didn't hear what you said, Zach.
I said everybody being realistic about what Phoenix is.
Yeah.
We've tried 1,000 different packages here. We've raced 1,000 different cars here. It's always been the same. You can add horsepower, you can add this or that. It's just Phoenix. You just got to accept it.
The only thing I'd like to see is like a tire that actually falls off, or if you abuse the tire, it hurts
Tire's
you.
Probably your biggest thing, yeah.
But other than that, like I said, we had passing. We didn't see it, but it was there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll all bark more horsepower, but is that really the answer to this race, right?
I mean,
Probably not.
I don't know if more horsepower is going to fix the car in general. Like, so how much? So NASCAR says, all right, we'll let you have more horsepower. How much do you think they're going to add? 100? We're going to go back to 750? I don't know if 750 changes much. Like, the car it'll go a little bit faster. Will it buzz the tires a whole lot more? I don't know. I have my doubts. Like, these things are so planted. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to lean on the biggest impact is going to be your tire, getting the tire right.
I just think as long as sorry.
And then, like, how do we get Goodyear comfortable with trying different tires? I mean, how do we, say Goodyear says, all right, we're gonna get real aggressive with the tire compound coming up, and they have blowout after blowout. Are we gonna just sort of say, hey, that's okay, you guys tried it, we appreciate that? Or are we gonna hammer Goodyear and say how much they suck all over Twitter?
So
you gotta understand the box that Goodyear's in, why they don't want to push the envelope too much, because they do get nailed. I remember I was watching, I forget what race it was, but Tony Stewart had like a blowout or something like that back in the day, and he just gets right on the mic after getting out of the car. Goodyear don't know how to build a fucking tire, and all this, like, this big rant and raving. So it's like, if we're gonna ask Goodyear to build essentially a bad tire, a tire that wears, then you got to be willing to give them the grace in case they overstep and fuck up and we have a blowout issue. Indy 2008 all over again.
Yeah. The hard thing, not that I want to go back to a tire war or anything, but like what motivation does Goodyear actually have of making a good tire? Like, end of the day,
none.
Right? Who's like, do they have any competition? Like, is Bridgestone like fighting, like trying to like fight for these rights to the NASCAR tire contract, or are they literally just like in a no-lose situation where they could literally throw out a rock and be like, well, this is what we got, sorry, and like then it's like, okay, well, now you just got what you got. Like, I feel like there's just they have no motivation. That's capitalism in a whole. If there's no competition, you kind of do whatever you want because there's no you don't have any risk of getting that taken away. Right. So I don't know. Again, not saying I want another tire war, not saying I want that, but end of the day, I feel like we need something as the sport continues, hopefully continue to grow again. Maybe more brands want to get involved. Maybe then Goodyear has a little competition back, but I don't know. I think that's kind of a pessimistic side of me, but they just don't have any reason to at this point.
You got Hoosier in the lower series, so they take care of like your sprint cars and your short track stuff, like your late models, and I think they do like the cars tour and stuff. I guess the trick is, like, if you would do like straight competition in a series, then I think we're gonna have the opposite problem. They're all gonna be making rocks that last years, right? Because then the idea is getting a competitive edge, which means a tire that doesn't wear.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you do like each series has a different tire maker. Maybe Xfinity has a different tire maker than Cup, but then I don't know if that makes Goodyear not want to do it. I don't know. But the only thing Goodyear has to lose is their name, and that's what I mean when I say we're going to roast them if they make a shitty tire. Because you're right, they have nothing on the line. Like, they're not competing. I don't know how this contract.
But end of the day, too, like who besides, like, I don't know. I feel like the vast majority of, I don't know about vast majority, lots of NASCAR fans don't probably get into it as much as we do as far as like what's the tire compound, what's that. Obviously lots do. But end of the day, it's an advertisement. They have Goodyear everywhere on the racetrack. So regardless of what the super fans think about the tire, that's not the majority that's probably not the majority of the reason they have this contract. The majority of the reason they have this contract is to get their name plastered on everything. So I mean, you're obviously a good point. Like I said, I don't want a tire war. I don't necessarily want two different brands in the sport at the same time. Because then, like you said, you just get guys who are making tires that are going to last forever. So everyone wants to use them. I think just at least keeping that some kind of exclusive contract where like you are the sole tire maker for this series, but maybe like you said, different series running different tires or just something. At least getting another brand interested to where Goodyear kind of has to keep making a good racing tire. Again, not a good tire that's going to last forever, but a good racing tire that has good wear, has like the right amount of traction, right, like more or less traction, just something that's going to make them actually give a shit, to be honest, about what kind of tire they're making. And maybe they do care. Maybe I'm being just way too cynical, but if I'm some
think they're
corporate
scared.
bigwig, yeah, probably scared too.
I think they're
I
scared.
think-
I mean, what happened when next gen came out and they were popping tires? I mean, this is only a
Right.
couple years ago. Like I
Yeah.
was just referring to something from the early 2000s, but just a
Right.
couple years ago, we first got the next gen, and the teams were playing with tire pressures and they were blowing the left rears out on them all the time. But who were we
Yep.
blaming? We weren't saying, oh, those pesky teams. Like it took a minute, and took the Corey LaJoys and stuff coming out and say, well,
Right.
Goodyear says to set your tire here, and we set it here.
Way below it, yeah.
Yeah.
But who were we roasting? Who was who were we blasting on
Right.
Twitter? We were blasting Goodyear.
Yeah.
So we already showed them that if they fuck up relatively recently, we're gonna blast them. So
Yeah.
there has
Yeah.
to be like this agreement among everybody that you can push the tire Goodyear, and we will understand if there's an issue. Like there
Yeah.
kind of has to be that.
I think
happen.
I think NASCAR, Steve Phelps, whoever it is in charge, kind of needs to grow some balls and kind of put their foot down. And instead of just saying, "Hey, Goodyear, can you bring me a tire?" Say, "Goodyear, I need a tire that wears, that has that can be overheated, that can have a fall off." It's kind of like with the broadcasting. Instead of just being like, "Oh yeah, Fox, do whatever you want to do," be like, "No,
then-
we need a good broadcast." And
Right.
just like we need to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like we're allowing everybody to come in and do whatever they want.
Right.
NASCAR needs to be the one to sit here and say, no, we need this. It kind of, the new manufacturers, that got into it a little bit with me earlier, that, oh, we want to get Honda in here. Oh, Honda only wants 650, so we're going to only run 650.
Then you're not
horsepower.
coming into NASCAR. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, tell them to fuck off. Say, no, we're running 750. You want to be in NASCAR,
Yeah.
you're going to run 750. That's like, quit trying to play to everybody's hand. Play to your fucking hand. Get the best fucking product you can. This is how you do it.
Of itself.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And like to the horsepower, thing, because Denny was saying that all the drivers want it. And I even just saw before we got on, Kyle Larson, he said, and I'm quoting what he's saying. He said, I heard our Hendrick Powertrain guy say we can go to 1,000 next week and it wouldn't cost more. And Denny's been saying it won't cost more. And everyone on Twitter's like, oh, well, like you'll run through more engines. Denny and some other guys were saying, well, back in the day when we had all that horsepower, it was an engine every 2 races. Right now, it's an engine every 2 races. So, and I love Denny's like, well, call Jim France and ask him, because apparently he's the only one that knows why they're not going up. So, does 100 more horsepower help right now? Probably not, especially in this car, because, and I think even too, with the way the tire was engineered, it's wider, you got the bigger brakes. I mean, I want to be optimistic, but I don't know. I think with this car on short tracks, you kind of, I hope they can change it, but I feel like we kind of got what we got until we get a new gen, because they're not going to re-engineer all this stuff. It's going to cost too much. So test 1,000 horsepower. Go to Charlotte, go to North Wilkes, run a couple laps with 1,000 horsepower and see what it does.
I think it's hard too, because it's
Those are
like how different do we make the cars for each package? You know what I mean? Like, like how, like, do we want to change complete tire widths, complete gear ratios, all this stuff just for a short track package versus an intermediate package? Because I mean, right now I think we'd all agree, like, let's not touch the intermediate package that much. The intermediate package has been great. Super Speedway package has been fine. Like obviously there's been some snoozers, but I feel like it's been a little more racy than they've been in the Gen 6 with this package. So like, at what point, like, this isn't me disagreeing with you at all, Joe, but it's like, at what point is it like, okay, like, do we, like, how different, how much of a cost would it be to these teams to make these packages so vastly different? Like the short track package, make the changes that need to happen, that at least we feel like need to happen as the completely right podcast, never having wrong opinions.
Sure.
Never. So it's like, all these changes that we think would fix the car for the short track, what would that do to the intermediate track? Do we just change it for the short track package in which case then we have these like vastly different cars? I don't know. But I think that's kind of another question to ask, is how different do we, how much would it, what point is it just not worth the cost to these teams to make these cars that different,
And the last thing I'll say about short track stuff, and we can move on, but like, I think I've been saying, a lot of people say the gearing needs, like, you can't be shifting.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, I'm not saying we need wreck fest at short tracks. But like, I want to see the drivers have to fight their car and like, oh, you go in too hot in a corner at Bristol, then you gotta pay the price, right? Or maybe you spin out single car. I don't know, but like they just are so, like Zach said, they're so planted to the ground, and you can't really have that short track racing where you can bump a guy out of the way and have some fun. But
yeah,
I rest my case.
So
I think you just hit onto something. God damn it, Andrew.
I got something that goes
I'll
off.
say it at once. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Go ahead, Andrew. What were you gonna say?
So going off of what Austin was saying is I kind of want to see what this short track package, the less aero, would do on the 1.5 miles.
It'd be interesting
because I think it could actually help the racing there, because we still see some aero problems. If we're removing those diffusers and stuff like that, the underbody, maybe we're going to correct some of it, and maybe we could get better racing on the 1.5 miles, which it's already great, but what if it's better?
The clean air is still a little OP.
It is.
If we can do something to get around that. But I think, it sort of goes into the clean air, sort of goes to what Andrew and Joe and everybody's talking about, is I think what we've done is what you used to be able to do in NASCAR. What made NASCAR great is the guy behind could manipulate the guy in front. You could pack air under a spoiler, get him loose. You could bump him out of the way, get him loose. He had a bunch of tools he could use to sort of, attack the car he was trying to pass. Now all that power's in the hands of the lead car. All he has to do is aero block, and that's it. And you can't touch him. I mean, we saw that with Larson and Reddick. So if we could figure out a way to allow the chase car to have some of those tools back, I think it would improve a lot of situations. Like Phoenix, like it could help at Phoenix. You get behind a guy, you can't get around him. Well, maybe you can move him. Stuff like that. Now to Drake's question about like how much can you change on the car, I don't think there is one big lever. Like we're putting a lot of weight on horsepower.
Right.
Again, I don't think there's a reasonable amount you could add to this car that would change it a whole heck of a lot. Instead, I think it's a bunch of different things, right? Give it 100 extra horsepower, get a better tire that wears. I think Dale Jr. was saying something before about changing the brake pad compound so that it backs up your braking point, so the cars slow down a lot slower. Stuff like that, take off aero stuff if we need to, all the stuff that can just unbolt. I think there's enough parts and pieces we can take on and off without necessarily re-engineering anything, that maybe we could find our way to something that works good on the short track package without basically having to build a whole new car to get us there. It's just what parts and pieces do we pull and what levers do we pull to get us there?
Yeah. All right. So we're 2 races in that aren't super speedway packages, and it's kind of the same thing. We're seeing Chevy and Toyota up front, and Ford's nowhere to be found. They seem to be struggling. It seems like the fastest Ford is Noah Gragson.
Who maybe thought that?
Maybe I just forgot our championship's name.
I was gonna say
Blaney.
Blaney. I was gonna say Briscoe. I'm like, that's not right.
It's like I say that number one on the leaderboard right now is O'Blaney, but then next one down is Cindric in 15th. So yeah, not great.
I think Todd Gilliland's been good. McDowell's been good. I think both front row cars have been really strong.
They have
Blaney, and Gregson. I'd say those 4 have been your, at least to me, for what I'm paying attention to.
Who would have thought Gregson would be carrying SHR?
Good for him.
Us.
No, I didn't think so. I don't think anybody would have thought that.
So that Twitter argument I got in the other week about Cindric versus McDowell. McDowell's finished better than Cindric in front row equipment. Yeah, that guy sucked. What is his name?
will say Ford seems to be kind of sneaking their way into the top 10 at the end of races just because of kind of luck. I mean, last
we thought
week
they were going to be dominant.
Pit stop strategy. This week it was because Denny spun. But that's I think midway through the season, maybe by Charlotte, we're going to see Ford pick it up. But I think they're just struggling with this new package, whereas Toyota hit it, right? They knew what they had. Their setups are good. Yeah. But Ford's just not there yet. I think they will be.
Is apparently like all the Toyotas were running different setups yesterday. So they were all running different. Not yesterday, Sunday. I always want to say yesterday when we do this. But Sunday, I think like 4 of them are running completely different setups. So they were that fast on 4 different setups. That's kind of wild.
Yep. So, and that brings me to the other point. Toyota has historically not run well at Phoenix, and we just saw them dominate that race. So I'm going to say it right now. Toyota's going to win the championship. The one that I'm watching is my guy, Tyler Reddick. He's run strong every race this year. He was running good this race. Obviously, Bell had the faster car, but Reddick plus 1,600 win the championship. Bet it.
There you go. There you go.
And
What
then,
was that? Well, I got $8 my DraftKings, so I'm ready to rock.
there you go. Put it all on it.
I had $4. I had $4 left for my DraftKings like picks account, and Lindsay didn't want to put any more money when it went live, so I just put the $4 on the that Hornets bet. So now I'm up to $8. So I'm ready to win it.
You should have done the whole
Win
50.
tons.
You would have had $50.
That's what I'm saying is I couldn't put more money in. If you were listening, Joe. Gosh.
You know he won't do that. But no, Toyota's running really good, and I think with how they ran yesterday, or God damn, you got me doing it, Zach. With how they ran Sunday, I think this looks really good for their championship race if they can make the Final Four. Like I said, though, Ford did end up there with Buescher in second. I think Keselowski finished either 4th or 5th. So, yeah,
Got a long way to go to Phoenix. It was just the first race with this package, so you know we know how that can go. Next 4 out of 5 weeks we're using this, so
not at the track though.
Yeah, not at Bristol for some reason, because that makes sense. Why do they insist on not using the short track package at Bristol?
Because we reduced the aero, so the track that's got aero dependent stuff like Bristol, we can't use it there.
Right, like the one short track where aero would really matter, it's Bristol because of how fast you go there.
Yeah.
Great.
That'd make too much sense.
Yep.
We'll get
All right, before we move on to the Xfinity series, make sure to like, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening or watching us. It helps us out if you leave comments. Give us a thumbs up like Joe did. Yeah, reviews. Hell, send us a OnlyFans question. It helps us. So
tweet us.
Anything helps.
Yeah.
And throw our name out there for sponsorships. We had somebody do that today, which was awesome.
We're coming for you, Joe Rogan. Podcast.
Yeah, shout out to Living the Dream on Twitter for responding to that Peak Auto tweet.
Heck yeah.
That was sick. That was cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
cool.
we appreciate it.
I was very excited to see that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
We're like, whose throwaway account is that? And we're like, it's not us.
Yeah, whose burner out of my score was that? But shout out to them.
Yeah, that was awesome. So thank you.
Yeah. So Xfinity race. Not much to say except Chandler Smith gets his first win, but it only became because with 5 to go, Justin Allgaier had been kind of dominating the last 60 laps. He cuts down a tire and he hits the wall pretty hard, destroys the car. He's out. Green, white, checkered. Chandler Smith wins it. Jesse Love finished second. He had a pretty fast car too, but not too many takeaways. We did have the Haley Deegan caution though.
Oh yeah, that was a call.
Somebody had a happy trigger finger there.
Yeah, up in the tower.
If you didn't see it, she lost the back end, and I think it was turn 1, and touched the wall, kept going. No spin, no nothing, but the caution came out. And
Very reminiscent of Ricky Stenhouse at Texas in that All-Star race.
Yeah. It wasn't even a half spin either. It was just a little quarter spin, and she saved it and kept on going.
Yeah. And it probably wouldn't make it that bad, except for on the restart, there was about a 10-car pileup, and I mean, it was a big pileup, like a lot of damaged cars.
Chaos.
So, is the Deegan caution the new Rick Ware caution?
For Xfinity, yeah.
Great question.
Yeah.
Too soon to tell, maybe, but it's looking that way.
Oh, and just so you know, she piled into that wreck.
The old ARCA brake.
Destroyed her car. Yep. But yeah, that was the Xfinity race. We had an ARCA race. It was 40 laps shortened. William Sawalich ended up winning. Other notable thing is Isabella Robusto, first race in ARCA, finished 6th, which good for her. Seems like a talented young kid. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
NASCAR was? I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, NASCAR. I'm
Wanna
good.
hit-
I think we hit
Let's
everything.
hit
Didn't we?
Fox Flub, and then we'll hit IndyCar quick, and then we'll
Do we had the 88 JRM news? Unless you were waiting for that.
Oh yeah, we can
Well,
hop
we're talking
into news.
about
I
now.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
What just happened to my camera?
I know that
got
was
really
weird.
bright. Yeah, so JRM announced Connor Zilic is going to drive the 88 car at Watkins Glen, Kansas, Homestead, Phoenix.
Very nice.
That's an interesting one to me because he's a track house driver. I mean, I'm happy for him. We watched him in the Miatas at Daytona. It was pretty cool. Seems like a great driver, but going into JRM, which is your notable Hendrick affiliation.
Big old Xfinity team.
Yeah.
Got Carson Quapple. That's right. Right?
Carson Quapple.
Carson Quapple, who he won. I caught my first Cars Tours race this weekend, and that was awesome at Southern National. That was like old school Bristol. We're all in the bottom, and there's only one lane, and they're rooting and gouging each other out of the way. It was awesome. It was great. But Carson, he came up through the field a little bit. He started I think he got into an incident. I caught it a little late, but he got into an incident at the start. He was back to like 6th or 7th or something like that. And he worked his way up, but he's going to be making his Xfinity debut, I believe, at Martinsville.
That is correct.
So
very nice.
That'll be cool to watch.
JGR car. That's the 19.
Huh?
I thought it was the
JRM.
JRM. See,
Yeah, he drives Junior
just said
Motorsports.
Carson Quapple.
Yeah, he drives the Junior Motorsports late model. Now we're going to Google. This podcast has never been wrong.
I'm going off of what you typed, Zach.
This type
will be in an Xfinity car for JGR at Martinsville.
Where's that at? I don't see that. That's a lie. No,
I'm waiting for it to get changed here.
You misread it. You misread it. There, look again.
Oh yeah, it suddenly changed to an M.
No. You gotta wipe your screen off. You got some smudge on there. And
oh, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, I mistyped. He's gonna be driving for JRM.
Okay, that makes more sense. The 88, I'm guessing there. Also, other news: NASCAR's looking at the Dodgers Stadium in LA for a possible race.
For reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that.
I made the trip out there when I was in Vegas a couple years ago, last year, and that is going to be a nightmare if they actually do that because it's up on a giant hill. Like literally, what the fuck is going on in my basement, right? my camera just keeps like going white, but it's up on this hill. I would not want to go to that race. Like it is going to be miserable sitting in like traffic and all that. I don't know. Join the homeless and camp out up there. I don't know.
I feel like
I like the idea,
LA
not
stadium
the
thing.
Yeah, we tried it. Let's move along.
Yep. Find a short track somewhere in Southern Cali or something like that.
Well, and I did see somebody like mark up like the distance, like the size of the Dodger Stadium in comparison to the Coliseum, and it's like shorter. So how's that going to work? What's the track going to look like?
Don't like that.
Square track.
I saw one little render thing. It was like the track ran all the way around the perimeter of the stadium.
Well, and so the other thing about the stadium is, okay, so it's up on a hill. The stadium is built down into the hill. So how are they going to get the cars down into the track? Like when you walk up through the gates, you look like you're at the top row and you're looking down into it. So
ride height rules are coming back. Lift them up.
It's I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
it's a thought that they had. Hopefully, it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's part of the conversation, right? What do you do with the Clash now? If you're pulling out of LA Coliseum, where you take
Kevin Harvick have a short track in California? Go there. Kevin Harvick's fun.
There's
something.
tracks all over the place.
I
that we
know.
can be doing this.
Do we have to stay in
Phoenix for the
California?
Clash.
There you go.
Be warm enough.
Yeah,
Remove
sure,
one of
why
their
not?
actual dates and boom, done.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Fox Flub of the Week. I put this one and then I was just totally outdone by Clint Boyer, but Jamie Little's reaction time to Justin Allgaier spinning out. I mean, he was in the wall, spun out. The other guys had been reacting. She goes, "Oh, Justin Allgaier in the wall." It was just like about 2 seconds, 3 seconds late here. Like we've already reacted, seen what happened. But then we had Clint on Sunday with the 16-second reaction to Austin Dillon.
That was wild.
Dude. Like,
He had to go get a
16
beer.
seconds.
Had to go get a beer.
Ugh.
My favorite part of the whole thing is the confidence in his voice.
She comes back. Hey,
Austin Dillon caught another one early.
No way! I
Golly.
can just hear Mike's inner monologue. Just yeah.
Like, no
'Cause the best
shit,
part is
dude.
He interrupted Mike to say it.
Yeah.
Mike was in the middle of talking and he just talks right over Mike to say, "Oh, and Austin Dillon's around."
What an idiot.
And then the other one would be Jamie Little on Saturday. Still, actually, these are all from Saturday. God, it was an awful broadcast, but they're cutting away after the race, and Jamie Little congratulates Justin Allgaier on the win.
And he didn't win.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And my other is maybe Suarez isn't the person for the booth. Not a broadcasting type there.
Nah, that's more Joey's thing.
Mi amigo.
Yeah, he said that
I-
quite
I-
a few times.
I'll agree with the Jamie Little slander though. Like, I mean, we have our lanes, and her lane is pit.
Pit reporter.
It's
Yeah.
sad because I want her to do good so bad because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's cool to see someone who's been in the sport for this long, like get a chance in the booth. And maybe she just needs time. But I mean, how long has she been in the booth now? At least a couple of years now. She's been in the truck booth. And it's just I don't know if it's gotten better.
So not everybody can do everything, and that's okay.
Can't teach an old dog new tricks sometimes. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
The only
But
thing
again-
I'll get,
Good.
I'll say the only defense I'll give her is I think the Xfinity thing was last minute because Alexander had a family thing he had to go attend to, but still not a broadcaster.
No.
Yeah. Okay, we had our first IndyCar race of the season. Joseph Newgarden wins. It was an okay race.
Did you know it was
Roger
happening?
Penske
No.
win the Roger Penske IndyCar Series. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Rigged. Sad.
Actually, he did more than win. I think he finished first, third, and fourth.
Not bad. Not bad.
Rigged race. The most rigged race
in the
ever.
series.
It was
I don't like that. I'm sorry. I still just don't like the idea that he owns the series that he competes in. It's just funky.
Yeah.
To me.
It's weird. Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
know, man.
Yeah,
But
I
whatever.
don't disagree there. Like, look the other way and you keep your job.
Yeah, no, our cars are definitely legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Johnson, do you want to call that car illegal, or do you want to go on a nice Hawaii vacation this year? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just funky. I'm not suggesting that he actually cheats, but it just opens up that conversation. The optics aren't great.
I agree.
Couple
It
of
was a
things
pretty good
that I
race.
did want
I don't know if you guys watched it. You guys watch it?
I watched it. I liked it. I thought
Yeah,
it was good. It's a Long Beach race, right?
St. Pete,
overall-
right?
St. Pete.
Yeah,
St. Pete.
street course.
Pete.
Yeah, St. Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was decent.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. It's what I expected out of it, right?
I was hoping the battle for the lead would be a little more.
It was a battle for second.
Yeah,
pretty much the whole
Newgarden
race.
was just so strong. So,
Yeah.
whatever. It happens.
Simon Pagenaud didn't come back. I mean, he had that big wreck last year at Barber, I think, and he obviously was out of the car for the rest of the season because of the concussion. He didn't come back. So is he on the Kurt Busch retirement plan here?
That's tough. I
mean,
forgot about that
he's
wreck.
so quick, dude. It was a massive wreck. Like
It was
the
bad,
fact that
yeah.
he walked away was amazing, but obviously the brain took a little bit of a hit. rolling around like that. So I don't know, man. He was so quick. Like when I went up and watched at Iowa and that, like, great racer. Hate to see him go out this way. And hopefully he does return for this season, but I don't know. Not coming back for the opener. Not how I want to see it. And then you have the Andretti calling out Roger Penske
Ooh, fireworks.
to sell the sell IndyCar. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and we've seen this all before with the whole kart split and all that fun stuff. I agree. Like Roger comes out and says he wants to get charters in IndyCar. Awful decision.
Boo.
And I think this is what's kind of pushed him. And sounds like Michael also wants better advertising, which we say it time and time again on this podcast. Yeah, it's a problem.
They do.
Like we don't know when IndyCar races are. It's a great series that puts on great races. Nobody knows when they are.
Nope.
Yep.
And I heard someone talking about, like, you go to a NASCAR race and you see signs and all that advertisement all over. You go to an F1 race, you see it all over. You go to an IndyCar race, you don't see it at all. Like, sell your sport, man. Like,
except for the Indy 500, that's the only race they advertise.
Yep.
Well,
they don't even have to advertise
that one.
Even then, but even then, barely.
Like,
yeah.
Every year, hey, Zach, when's the Indy 500? What day?
Memorial Day.
Yeah,
well, the Sunday before.
The day
Memorial
before.
Day.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's set in stone. You know it's going to be there where it's at every year. The other ones, I don't know. Like, I know Iowa will be sometime in July. What weekend? I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, what race people know besides like the 500 for non-NASCAR fans? You know what I mean? And like, unless you're watching Fox that day and see the advertisement, you know, like obviously we know when the races are. But I mean, does NASCAR just have a bigger following? You know what I mean? Like I always give IndyCar shit for their advertising, but I don't know. Like, are we that much better at our? I don't know. Maybe we are.
Well,
I'm just
devil's advocate. Like our local advertising's better.
But
I see it on Twitter all the time.
I remember,
right? Because we follow Twitter people, and our feeds are.
But I don't. You would think I would also see that stuff for IndyCar. Is what I was getting.
Yeah.
Like I follow all motorsports on Twitter.
Right.
But all I really, and I mean, granted, I'm looking mostly at NASCAR stuff, but I don't see like a IndyCar Bob equivalent tweet. The races are at this time, and this is where you can watch them, and all that stuff. I don't know. It just seems like the way I find a race is either a random Twitter post, or usually flipping through the TV guide to see when the NASCAR race is, and then seeing, oh, there's an IndyCar race on.
Oh, IndyCar's going on right now. It's 1 o'clock. I got 2 hours till NASCAR.
Also,
all right, cool.
Didn't NASCAR have a couple ads during the Super Bowl this year for the 500? Like,
it's also true.
You're getting your product in front of however many hundreds of millions of people.
But does IndyCar have that much money to play with in their marketing budget? Like, I guess our whole argument is they should have more money in their marketing budget. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you market it more, you get more fans to the track. You get more
and the Super Bowl isn't really, the proximity in the calendar isn't really there. Like, I mean, NASCAR makes sense.
Right.
The Clash is literally the week before. What was it? The week after the Super Bowl? No, the week before the Super Bowl.
Week before, and then
after. Or 500's week.
500,
after.
500
yeah. So I mean, it's like right there, right? So I mean, IndyCar, it's like Super Bowl Sunday. Tune in March 10th for the IndyCar race. Put that on your calendar.
I mean, did they have IndyCar ads during the NASCAR race? Because that'd be smart.
Yeah, that would be.
And again, that's Michael Andretti's point. You know, how do you reach another audience, and also scheduling, right? Like, how many times we have seen an IndyCar race on, and it starts at the same time as a NASCAR race. Well,
right.
I hate to tell you, IndyCar, but a lot of us that don't have 2 screens going on, I'm picking NASCAR.
Yeah.
So I know we don't want to bend the knee to anybody. You know, I know how much NASCAR wouldn't want to bend the knee to Formula One, but if you want to gain some viewership, you have to recognize you're not the biggest dog around.
Yeah. Well, and that just goes to like viewership too from last weekend. IndyCar down, F1 down, NASCAR up. So
19% up.
Even the Xfinity series was up 6%.
Yeah, 6%.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. I did not expect those numbers from Phoenix.
The Netflix effect. I don't know.
I mean, you want to talk about marketing? What are we doing? We're doing the Netflix show.
Yeah.
You know, there's also
IndyCar did one. Did you guys know that?
Nope.
No.
What?
No idea.
No idea.
Yep. It's on I don't know, like the CW or something on like at 10 o'clock at night or some shit like that.
Ah, nice.
Mhm.
That works.
Yeah.
Where would you rank? Here's an interesting question. Where would you comparatively? How would you rank as far as viewership and fandom and everything? NHRA and IndyCar.
Ooh.
What do you mean? Which one has more?
Yeah,
I would think IndyCar.
you'd think, right? But
But
like
it's
there are
NHRA.
right.
Well-
That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like there's. Let me look this up.
I'm
There's. I
looking
mean,
over
there's like I know we're not. I like NHRA. I don't follow it super closely, but I like watching it.
it. Uh-oh.
What?
Last September, NHRA drag racing series drew 2.1 million viewers on Fox, and I
Mhm.
believe IndyCar did 900K
Oh,
on Sunday.
Gee whiz.
Right.
That's tough.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
tough.
You wouldn't expect that, but like there are very big drag racing like my mom's side of the family, they all drag raced. Like they had like I remember going to my cousin's junior dragster races growing up, and like there are people who are very into drag racing. We don't think about it because we're not deep into the drag racing scene, but there's a lot of big. I feel like I've met more. Obviously, like I said, my mom's family, but I feel like I've met more diehard NHRA fans and drag racing fans in general than I ever have met a very big IndyCar fan.
Yeah.
Which is crazy too, because you'd think the IndyCar would have more viewership than cars going in a straight line, which again, it's like very minimized. It's like saying NASCAR just turns left, but like I'm surprised. I'm surprised by that stat.
That's shocking.
I thought they'd be close. I'd be close. I didn't think y'all would think they'd be close. I thought y'all would think IndyCar would blow up the water, but
Aren't
yeah,
NHRA broadcasts like pre-recorded?
yeah, they're not.
I hate that.
they're
Yeah.
pre-recorded.
Well, I mean,
they're
think about
always
it too.
on.
There's so
I
much
get
dead
it
time though. There's
from,
so
like,
much
a
dead
time.
time.
I 100% get it, but I still hate it.
Yeah.
I also
hate,
do
the
think
pre-recorded thing.
You gotta
I-
get if you've never been
Yeah.
to an NHRA race,
you're crazy.
you have to go. They are sitting there and next like the other series are cool, like Pro Stock, like all that stuff's kind of cool. When you and like the top alcohol is cool too, but the freaking nitro classes, the top fuels and the funny cars, like you have not truly felt a car until you've sat next to a drag strip whenever they're rolling. Like it is just a whole next
Something
level
else.
thing. If you've never been to an NHRA drag race, absolutely find your nearest drag strip and go to like even local drag strips are cool too, but like go to something that's going to have the nitro classes. It'll blow your mind. It's insane.
Yep. All right. So, quick F1 note: Dorian Pinn wins the F1 Academy race. Her first win. Her team was so excited they forgot to tell her the race was over. She did a whole nother lap,
That was wild.
and the FIA has removed her win. They gave
The
her
most-
a 20-sec penalty.
That's the most
And
FIA
It's the
thing
most
I've ever heard.
FIA shit I've ever
Oh.
heard in my life.
Why don't you
My
like F1?
God.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Oh no, she did more racing. Let's penalize
Yeah.
her. What an idiot!
Like,
dude.
I get it. Give her a grid penalty or something for the next race, but
Yeah.
removing her win, this is after the race. Like, she won the race.
Crazy.
Nope,
dude.
nope, nope, nope. No,
Disqualified.
she didn't.
Like I get it's a safety. It could be
Right.
considered a safety thing. 'Cause people could be yelling the grid or whatever when she's come back around. But like, grow up.
Penalize
Yeah.
whoever was supposed to tell her that.
Yeah, penalize her.
Penalize the
engineer.
team. Penalize her the next race. Do something. But
penalize
she
her as
won
a
the
driver.
race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid, man.
20-second penalty.
FI is a
I think she
joke.
finished third.
Who's
Kill
that guy
count this
that
week.
replaced what's his name on the Ferrari?
Oh yeah.
That 18-year-old who scored championship points. I
He's
can't
like,
remember his
Oh,
name.
what's the Bearden or whatever his name was?
Yeah,
Yeah,
something Bearden.
yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
His first ever Formula One start. He's only like 18 years old. What a flex!
Mhm.
It's like taking a Venturini car and placing decent in a ARCA race.
I mean,
though,
there is
feel
an
like.
element of it's a Ferrari. You're gonna place well, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, your first race. It's
On short notice
something.
too.
on
Yeah.
short notice.
Kill count. John Hunter Nemechek. He is getting 4 this week. Derek Kraus. I had to go back and
Oh,
edit
but
this.
it's worth
He's
it.
getting
I-
2.
I don't know why
Doing the
John
Lord's
Hunter
work.
Nemechek was angry at Joey Logano,
But we appreciate his service.
I believe. I just take a
I
point
mean,
off.
let's be honest.
Take
it was
one off. for him.
Logano's fault, right?
It was. He was driving a green car. Green means go.
Yeah. I don't have a boomer of the week. We don't have an OnlyFans. Let's hop into Survivor. Zach?
Oh god, that's
Actually,
me.
let's not. Fuck Survivor.
Why? Oh, I know why you don't want to do Survivor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know exactly why I doesn't want to do Survivor.
Oh, what a good week for me.
Let's get a quick-
Crystal Bell wins,
Get
and
a
I
quick,
win this.
let's get a quick score update.
Wait, you
Zach.
won this?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
won this
wow.
week.
With Ross.
Yep.
Okay.
Which, going back to the broadcast thing, Ross was like 2 seconds from being a lap down at the end of the second stage. Same with Michael McDowell, and they both got top 10s. Where did they talk about what they did to do that?
Yeah.
I believe it was pit strategy, but I mean,
It was.
like, why would you not celebrate that? Like, that's pretty crazy. Like, Michael McDowell was literally just about to go to a lap down, and then he gets a top 10. I think he got like 8th or something. So shout out those guys.
All right. So
yeah.
I got last
Yep.
with Alex Bowman finishing 20th. Gonna
Yep.
go with Chris Buescher for Bristol.
Busher, that's a good pick. Drake, where did you finish? You were third with Elliott, who is P19.
Should have known better than to choose
Last place Chase.
last 100
Tough.
driver. Yeah, that's rough. Joe,
Why
you're
are you
welcome.
happy
You're,
about that.
I'm the reason you have that hat signed, Joe. I don't know if you remember that, but whenever we saw him,
You are.
he came up with a pin. He was like, you want it? There was like, dude, your hat, and you're like, oh yeah, and then, like he got it signed. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
I got to go with the Highline King himself, Tyler Reddick.
Ooh, interesting.
Reddick.
Interesting.
Joseph, who are you going with?
Me, I'm going to pick. Give me Bad Brad.
Brad Keselowski.
Keselowski. I don't know. Why not?
Who am I going to take? Hold on. Andrew took my pick, so let me look at this.
Well, you've
Results
only
here.
had 2 hours to pick.
I didn't think about it. I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to do the same thing Drake did. Make the same mistake. I'm going to pick Chase.
Big mistake.
Hey.
Huge mistake. I probably shouldn't do it, but whatever.
Yep.
Mean. That's mean.
I mean, give me a reason why I should do it, Joe. Tell me why it's not a bad choice right now.
He was running well till the third stage last
Well, he
week.
didn't.
Till it mattered.
He finished 20th.
Till the first. Like he fell back right at the beginning. Like he was top 5, then gone.
Yeah.
And then yeah. I don't know, man. Like he's running bad. Him and Bowman both. I just
Yeah, I don't know where they've been. It's weird.
Last.
yeah. Like I get Bowman being maybe like a little skittish because he broke his back in a fucking race car.
Yeah.
Case broke his leg snowboarding. Like it has nothing to fucking do with racing. And it wasn't his left leg. Like I don't know, man. He just sucks. That's where I'm sitting.
I mean, maybe he'll get on a hot streak and just start running shit. Maybe he needs to get his confidence back or whatever. But right now is not a good time to be betting on Chase, which unfortunately I am.
Yeah, I thought about doing like a top 10 or something.
I looked at. I remember Chase's name stuck out because I looked at the couple Bristol night races, and I think he's done okay.
It's a day race.
I know it's a day race, but we haven't had one in the next gen car.
And wasn't it the last time that it was the day race there that Logano took him out?
He took Logano out, I thought.
Oh, he took Logano out.
Oh, wait, Joe, did you just admit to Chase doing some dirty driving?
Wow.
Yeah.
You call yourself an Elliott fan.
We love people taking Logano out. Thank you, JH.
It's true. We do.
But like, where's he going to rebound at? He's running bad at all tracks, and you're like, oh well, he's a road course racer. He's notoriously bad at road courses in this new car.
Yeah, has he won? I was listening to something else they were saying. Oh yeah,
he hasn't won a race in this. He won a super speedway in this car, right? That's it, or has he won anything?
I think 2022 he won some stuff.
I
don't remember him winning a road course.
He lost to Reddick at whatchamacallit?
Road America.
Actually, I'm wearing that shirt right here. Look at it's got the date, July 3rd, 2022. I was
that
there.
Gen 7? I thought that was a Gen 6 race.
That was next year.
What day is the shirt? Year.
2022.
Okay, that would have been next gen.
Yep.
Or current gen.
Yep.
I didn't know we raced this car there. Huh.
Yeah. It wasn't that great of a race. I'll put it that way. Like, it was great because I was hammered and I was in the corner that Tyler Reddick passed Chase Elliott, and I was sitting right in front of a group of Chase Elliott fans, and I stood up and went, "Yeah, suck it." But yeah, no, I don't know what Chase has to do to get that push. He just honestly, even like interviews and stuff like that, he doesn't seem like he wants to be racing.
I never get that vibe from him. He's just always like, "Yeah, I'm here." That's why I
He's
can't.
Like, my dad forced me to do this.
I cannot cheer for a guy that I feel like I care more about his result than he does.
Yeah,
like I just can't do it, and it's just that's the way Chase comes off. Like I'm sure he cares a lot, but he just doesn't. I don't see it, and it's just bleh, I don't know. Yeah. But we're rooting for him this weekend. Go Chase.
That's right.
What is it? DI9 or something like that? What's that?
It's Dig.
Oh, is that it? Dig.
Yeah.
So we're using numbers.
I always see DI9 every time. I'm like, what is this?
All right. We want to call the show, or do we want to?
What's the
Joe
game?
wants to call the show. It's Name That Driver.
Let's get it there with. You wanted to play this last
Give it a
week.
whirl. Let's give it a whirl.
Yeah. I mean, we can save it for another day. We're
no, we got time. It's fine.
Joe wants to go to bed. Joe, if you want to go to bed, you can
I want to go to bed, but we're fine. Let's just roll.
All right, Name That Driver. I'm going to give some
drink.
stats out. You're going to grab another drink?
No, I said I still got bourbon to drink. So speaking of which, we didn't have our bourbon segment yet. Joe, what are you sipping on right now?
I already finished, but I just had basic bitch Weller Reserve tonight.
Solid stuff. I'm actually drinking a sample of Weller Foolproof Store Pick that one of my coworkers surprised me with a little sample of. So that's what I'm sipping on.
And
left.
That was talking
get
bourbon.
a bourbon sponsor.
I know, yeah.
Buffalo Trace sponsor.
Southern Spirits, yeah, or yeah, says right. Hit us up.
Not Southern Spirits.
No,
Leonard
sorry,
Skinner.
Southern Distilling.
Leonard Skinner just announced they're going to come here and sign bottles of their new whiskey.
Dude, we're literally, our bourbon club is having a celebrity whiskey night tomorrow. And it reminds me, there's the It's Always Sunny episode that's titled Celebrity Booze, the Ultimate Cash Grab. Pretty accurate. So
they're almost all bad.
Like we were talking about the Chris Stapleton Buffalo Trace bourbon for one, which I love Chris Stapleton. Don't get me wrong. It's whiskey. Technically not a bourbon, but they here's the thing. Chris Stapleton is sober. So he's not even trying this whiskey and picking it out. Like, it's a blend, so it's blended by Buffalo Trace. No actual Buffalo Trace juice in it.
He just gave him money to put his name on it.
Exactly. So like
did it.
Their master distiller did the blend and everything. So obviously he knows what he's doing. But then you got Chris Stapleton signing off on it, who's never tasted it.
You're not in the game, son. I can't respect it.
Right. Maybe he smelled it. Maybe he's like, yeah, it smells good. But you trust Heartland Wheatley, is that his name?
Yeah.
The master distiller at Buffalo Trace. Like, yeah, sure, I trust what he's doing. It's good. Like, I've had it. It's pretty good. But
it seems disingenuous.
Right. To put Chris Stapleton's name on it, like, what are you doing? Like, how is this his whiskey? He hasn't even tried it. He's never even sampled it. So anyway, the ultimate cash grab.
You know, James May from Top Gear has a gin.
That does not surprise me. Honestly, does not surprise me.
I still want to try Aviation, the Ryan Reynolds gin, because Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I hate gin though. I hate it so much.
I like gin and tonics. I want gin neat to me or on the rocks or anything. It's just gross. Anyway.
All right. Name that driver. You guys ready? Hey. I am going. Oh my god! That's it for this week's episode of the Green White.
The game is actually how pissed off can we make Andrew? The real game.
All right, I'm gonna say some stats. You guys can guess the driver. I got about at least 5 stats for each driver. The second one, I'm not sure if the first stat's actually true because Google seems to get this guy mixed up.
Can we get a time frame reference for each of these?
I'll give you like 1 or 2 seconds in between. Or are you just saying
like
what the period?
Like, is this a current driver? Is this a like?
Okay, how about I say if they're current or not before?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, current or not's fine. And then if we need a hint, let me.
This first one is retired.
I'm gonna do with this.
Dale Jarrett.
Damn it! No. Okay. I was one of 179 drivers who attempted to race in the 2005 Xfinity Series. I led the most laps in the Xfinity Series in 2005 with 800 laps led, 95 more than second most, Martin Truex, who won the championship. I have raced for Roush, SHR, RCR,
Damn.
Penske, Rick Ware Racing.
Oh, that's
Cup
Newman.
Series, bingo.
Who'd you say?
Yep.
Newman.
Ryan Newman.
Oh, Newman. Yeah. Good guess.
My other things are
It wasn't
this
a
one, I
guess,
think
Joe.
would
That
probably
was just knowing.
yeah. Yeah, he led 800 laps
Damn.
in 9 races.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Edwards was a guess.
Kyle Busch over here.
Yep.
Bushwhacking.
The other things I had for him was Cup Series Rookie of the Year, 2002, beating out Jimmy Johnson. And then the
Wow.
final one, Rocket Man.
Yeah, Rocket Man.
Yeah,
giveaway.
good one,
Yeah.
All right.
Rocket
This
Man.
one is a current driver.
Okay.
This first one, like I said, this question, I'm not sure if this is. I was a child actor. World
Okay.
Karting Association champion. My first 7 career top 10s all occurred in the state of Florida. My first win also came in the state of Florida. I've
Ricky?
raced for Darrell Waltrip Motorsports and Michael Waltrip Racing.
Ooh, okay.
See, this is retired.
No,
No,
current.
Nope, current.
The old.
Michael Waltrip. Okay.
Racer Michael
yep.
Waltrip Racing and who?
Darrell
Darrell
and Michael Waltrip.
Okay, not Ricky. Ooh.
Are they
Nothing?
full-time driver?
This is a full-time driver.
Full-time driver.
Like
in the
current
Cup
full-time.
Series.
Current full-time.
And
In
Cup Series?
Series?
I'll give you, Cup Series. I'll give you 5 seconds and I'm saying the name.
Truex Jr.
Child actor. Who the fuck was
That's
a child
throwing me
actor?
off.
That's really giving me a curveball.
Michael McDowell.
I
What?
was about to say Michael when you said first
Wow.
win, like top 10s and first win.
I forgot he raced for Waltrip.
Wait, what
That's
did
why-
he childly act in?
I don't know. Like Google had him as a childhood actor at like the
Whether he's
age
in a
of 8. And
commercial
I'm
or
just like,
something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
It said he was in like Law and Order or some shit.
Yeah, probably like one episode or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. But that this one is also a current NASCAR driver.
Okay.
My second NASCAR win broke an 8-year drought for Roush Fenway on non-super speedway tracks. My first win was for Front Row Motorsports,
Busher.
but not their
Busher,
first win.
yeah,
It is
Busher.
Busher.
I already said that. What the fuck?
No,
You all said it pretty much at the same
I
time.
said it first.
What? Play it back. I said that. Well, man. I said
So
that
you
after
also
you
got
said the Roush thing.
2011 Rookie of the Year, 2012 champion, 5 career Cup wins, 3 Xfinity wins, and
That was a rain-shortened race, I believe. That
Fog short.
Fog shortened, yeah.
fog.
fog.
Busher
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fog shortened.
At Pocono.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, this one is a retired driver.
Okay.
This is the last one. This driver has 25 had 25 top 10s and 6 top 5s before his first lead lap finish.
Ooh.
Yeah. His second lead lap finish was his first win.
Sounds like some brain teaser shit.
Yeah.
His first lap led was his first win.
He has 400 apples. He eats
Uh,
324.
In the 1992 season, his team ran Fords, Chevys, and Oldsmobiles.
Morgan Shepherd.
I'm not gonna know this.
oh Lord.
Not Morgan
Mark
Shepherd?
Martin,
Nope.
It sounds like Morgan Shepherd.
Trevor Bain.
He was a Hendrick driver.
Come on, Joe.
Terry Labonte.
I
Terry
was going to say
Labonte.
Terry.
Was it really? Let's
Yep.
go, baby.
Yep.
Wow.
All right,
That was a good one.
that's it for
That's a
Name
good
That
one,
Driver.
Colorado. Wow.
Yeah.
That was
Name
fun.
that driver.
Didn't get Michael McDowell. And you
I
call
almost
yourself a
guessed
true
him.
fan.
I almost guessed him. I had too much Weller.
I was surprised at the first 7 career top 10s all occurred in Florida. I was like, damn, okay.
When you said the Michael
Florida,
Waltrip and Dale Jr. thing, or Dale Jarrett thing, I was stuck on Rudiman or Reagan for some reason. Those two names kept going around in my mind.
Oh, yeah. Everybody
Rudiman
forgets McDowell. Yep. Rudiman was Waltrip.
Yeah,
I don't think he
did.
raced for Daryl Waltrip, though.
Oh, you're saying Daryl? I was thinking he ran
Dale Jarrett.
He ran the UPS scheme for Dale Jarrett, didn't he? After Dale left, I could have sworn David Rudiman
did. He
You-
did. Yeah.
I thought it was Reagan. Was it Rudiman?
No, I think
Yeah,
it was Rudiman.
Yeah. He ran the 44, I think, with that scheme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
But
So I
Dale
guess-
also
Okay.
ran the 44, but he ran it like after Dale did. Anyway. Yeah.
I had World Karting Association champion twice. That kind of threw me off. I don't know why I did that. Like it was the second line and it was like the 5th line. I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, wait.
But
That was good.
all right. Yeah, it was fun. All right, that's all we got for this week's episode of the Green White Checkered Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and leave us comments, reviews.
Come on.
We like the comments. The reviews help us. And like I said, sponsorships, throw us out there. We'll do anything at this
Win the
point.
dream. You're the GOAT. Automatic super
Yep.
fan for that. We love
Come
you.
on.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
I love you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checker Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWCpod for the podcast, at biggelstv for Zach, at shakendrake_TTV for Austin, at picksbyfitz for Andrew, and at J_Sully10 for Joe. Head over to thegwcpod.com to submit a question for our OnlyFans segment. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you again next episode.